Is there any best practices that you would share with our leaders that are listening that are like, hey, I'm building something, family proximity is a principle, but having an example to be able to leverage to see the best way to manage that has been difficult. So what would you say would be some good
Well,
best
first
practices?
of all, you have to realize time is your only resource. It's your most valuable one. Everything comes from time. And so every time you're saying yes to something, you're saying no to something else. So when you start saying yes to everything in business with no intentionality and no vision and strategic plan driving your yeses and nos, you're ultimately saying no to your family when you're saying yes to those things. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, you need to be grounded in something bigger than any accomplishment you can have on this earth. For me, that's my faith in God. I believe I was created by God with the gifts that I have and the faults that I have, exactly how he wanted me to be, to do what he wants me to do. And I think it's healthy to think about your life after it's over, eulogy thinking. And that's something a 43-year-old guy, which is my age, would say. It took me time to start thinking that way. But in my 30s, I read a book called Second Mountain by David Brooks. And that really impacted me to think about my life after it's over and reverse engineer. And I think it's really important to think outside of what you're in, because it can help you establish priorities and create boundaries. Right. Communication's everything. Communicating what's going on in your business to your wife, or if it's a woman founder, to your husband, really, really, really important to do. Like, they need to understand enough of what's going on here. So if there is something that is a huge priority, they'll understand when you say, I really got to do this. And you got to communicate back what happened. And of course, in your marriage, you got to communicate too about everything else. Communication's everything. If you just think they're going to understand what you're doing without you telling them, that's not the deal. Last thing I'll say, I could say a lot, but I'll stop here, is don't just think because you're working hard and you believe you're working hard for your family to provide for your family, that that's enough. Like, this is your dream. It's not theirs. Okay. This is your dream. And to think that you can work hard for your dream and that's enough, and you're providing for your family, and maybe you're doing well with your business and you're providing financially for your family and you're taking them on trips and doing all these things, but you're not allowing them to pursue their dreams. Their dreams are important to them.
That's right.
And so it's not just about your dreams. And I ran into something with this in 2016. I sold my portion of Iron Tribe to Forrest. He bought me out. There was two reasons that I sold. One was I wanted to go build something in college sports. We'll get to that in a second. But the other one was my wife wanted to start a company called Glow, a beauty on-demand service powered by technology. And I took 6 months off and helped her get that started because I realized that the whole time she had been living for my dream. And I really never let her dream. She's this talented beauty artist that has been working in cities like Miami, Boston, New York, all over LA. And now she lands here in Birmingham. She's had the kids. She's been out of work. She wants to go back and use her talents. And we did that for 6 months. Only 6 months, though. We almost tore each other's heads off. And she still has that business today. That was 9 years ago.
Wow.
And Glow is still based over on 20th Street and 3rd Ave in Birmingham, and is a very successful business. And it's been really cool to watch her live her dream.
And that's beautiful because, unfortunately, there's this unspoken strain that entrepreneurs have that it's tough to navigate whenever you bring it home. And without having someone that you have access to or someone that you can glean from to be able, I would say, not only live best practices, but also communicate best practices is extremely important.